Everybody, it is Lorelia. Today, I am coming to you with how to get approvals with real estate investor loans, primarily asset based lending. So, the last video, I kind of touched on asset based lending. And my promise was that I am going to continue to do more um videos and content on this conversation. The last conversation was pretty much the power of leveraging business funding along with asset based lending and how it is a big win. And so today I want to talk about asset based lending primarily for real estate investor loans. The reason why I say real estate investor loans, if you saw my last video, I made the clear distinction that investor loans primarily for investors who own multiple properties are different from you getting a loan, say for the non-investor. For example, it's a primary home or you're a first-time home buyer, what have you. Asset-based lending, primarily backed by private equity firms or hedge fund firms, the lending is different. And so today I want to talk about, getting approvals. And I want to go over some of the things that individuals do not realize, which is why they're not able to get the approvals that they're looking for when it comes to real estate loans. So before I go into that, I always want to make clear that if you are new to me or my content, I know I'm streaming from YouTube and I'm streaming on Facebook. And so if this is the first time you learning about me, understand I am not new to the conversation of funding. Not new to the conversation of credit, not new to the conversation of funding. And so a person may be thinking, well, you're talking about real estate approvals. That's not primarily related to credit. And you know what? You are right, especially in the space of real estate loans. But credit does play a part because unfortunately people do look at your credit because it does say something about your character. But that's for another video, which is not what we're talking about today. Today we are talking about approvals. And so one of the main things that would prevent a person from getting an approval for a real estate investor loan, which is asset based lending, primarily asset based, that's what we're talking about today, is you not knowing that all lenders are not created equal. Let me repeat that. When it comes to real estate investor loans, all lenders are not created equal, which is totally different from the person who is looking for a primary home, especially when it comes to FHA, especially when it comes to first time home buyers. The requirements and what the lender is looking for, because it is backed by the government, is an FHA, 203K loans, VA loans, USDA loans. Those are government backed programs. So the guidelines are the same. You can go on FHA.gov, VA.gov, USDA.gov, and you will see the guidelines for you to qualify for the loans. Although they're different lenders, but understand it is backed by the government, so the requirements the same. As opposed to real estate investor loans, what a lot of investors do not know, it is not a cookie cutter approach. That is why when individuals work with me, when I understand what is the goal that they're looking to do, are they looking to invest in a are they looking to invest in a multifamily home? Are they looking to go into a short-term rental? Then I know how to match that particular client to that particular loan because they're not all created equal. And so what happens is The novice investor, this could be an investor doing deals, but they are novices when they come to funding. And what makes a person a novice? They don't have relationships. It's not based on how many deals they're doing. It's based on what type of relationships do they have. And so, going back to what I just said, my description, if you are a novice investor, has nothing to do with experience. You doing deals has to do with the relationship. You have no relationship with a lender, so you don't know the guidelines of what it is that they're looking for. So what happens is you go to a lender who may specialize in doing fix and flips. That's what they are known for. They lend to investors who do fix and flips. But you want to do multifamily hold. You want to be able to get into a property where the loan is determined by the asset. In the last video, I talked about DTI is not something that asset based lenders look at. They look at the debt service coverage ratio, also known as the DSCR. So if you're looking for a lender who specializes in that area, that is what they're known for. But you're talking to a lender who does fix and flips. So now the information you're getting skewed. Even if you are working or looking to work with a lender who does do DSCR loans, which is non-qualified money. They got multiple terms. Some people call them investor loans. Some people call them non-qualified mortgages. Some people call them DSCRs. Some people say they're asset-based lending. But even with that, with the different names, the reason why there are different names is to one, to confuse you as the person who's looking to get access to the loan. I'm going to be honest with you, it is to cause confusion, because understand that since these loans are not backed by the big banks, although they have to follow the requirements of the Department of Banking and Insurance in different states that they lend, they still don't have heavy guidelines. And with that being said, each private equity firm that backs these type of mortgages or these lending sources have a different way to explain it. So what happens is, you as the novice investor, remember novice investor being not the ability to you doing deals, the ability of you having relationships, meaning lending relationships. Do you have relationships with lenders who are going to do a deep dive with you and your business to see what's best suited for you? And that's the missing piece on why many people do not get the approvals that they're looking for, because they don't understand the industry. Because the role of a lender is not to sit on the phone and do a deep dive with you to go through, especially if you are entering into the market. You have no experience, but you got a little you got some cash on you. They're not going to go through and see what's best suited for you. So what happens is, it leaves the person on the other end who wants to enter into the market. And even with everything going on, interest rates creeping up, the upcoming recession that is going on, many people understand historically the one thing that can hedge against hedge against inflation, is real estate. And if it's not real estate, it's an appreciating asset, whether it's a business, whether it's real estate, whether it's investments. But understand, on this channel, we primarily talk about funding. So that's number one, you not knowing what it is that the lender is looking for. The second thing is not understanding the terminology. See, with investor loans, there is no pre-approval. So a lot of people, what they're looking for is, I hear people, they'll come to me and they'll say, "Oh, Lorelia, I just want to know what I can get approved for." That's not how asset-based lending works. You don't get a pre-approval letter. You get what is called a term sheet. How is that term sheet created for you as the end user, as you as the real estate investor? It is created because you have given a deal to the lender. From that deal, the lender does the due diligence. Whether the due diligence comes from the asset, want to know your experience, want to know, if it's a multifamily, what are the current rents that are being collected. They want some information about the property. They may take into account, of course, your income. They want to know that this loan is going to be paid on. So that is going to be a conversation. Although credit doesn't play a large part, but they still want to get an idea how you pay your bills. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're not paying this bill, 9 times out of 10, you're not paying other bills. And so those are just a few of the due diligence things that a lender will look at to determine if you're going to get a term sheet, not a pre-approval, not a pre-approval. So most people, what they're doing is they're taking the information that they know from the primary market, things that they did to get their primary home, but they are trying to bring it over to the investor world. And that area is where it gets very gray, which is why they're never able to get what it is that they're looking for, which is the approvals or the lending letters or the ability to close on a loan using asset-based lending, real estate loans, non-qualified mortgages, DSCR loans, whatever the terminology is that you are trying to use for you to get the asset that you're looking for. So I just wanted to come to you today to just kind of touch on those things, because what I am noticing in the market, with me working with individuals, is that many people don't know. And if you do not know, it is going to leave you very frustrated. And that is what I'm seeing. Many people are frustrated. Many people are frustrated. Many people don't understand how this world works. And I'm here to bring clarity to those things. So understand, like I said, my promise is to continue to do more videos on these topics to give you a clear understanding, because I noticed that when people do decide to schedule a consultation with me, what they are missing is that they do not know the rules of the engagement to get what it is they are looking for. And unfortunately, the way this industry is designed is not designed for lenders to get on the phone and do a deep dive with you, which leaves you frustrated and confused. So once again, if you enjoyed what I discussed today and this topic, please leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. My links will be below this video if you want to learn more about me and how I'm able to help real estate investors leverage six figures or more in business funding to invest in real estate using asset-based lending. Look at my last video before this. Then look at all the the links up below this video. Until the next time.